This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Royals POSTCAST here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. You can follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. That's at CHANCELIEBAU. If you can't make a show live, don't worry. These episodes will be uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcasts. I want to say thank you so much for making the Locked On Royals podcast and the Royals POSTCAST your first listen of the day. I want to say thank you guys all for 3,500 YouTube subscribers. Before we get started, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. I want to say thanks for joining the show, and feel free to join the live chat and let me know your thoughts on tonight's game, and maybe I'll respond to your comments. Already getting some people in the comments section. Jalen saying bounce back tomorrow. DJ excited for Lugo tomorrow, just ready to be above 500 again. Yeah, it was I'm not hitting the panic button at all after today's game. Max Scherzer is a really good pitcher that obviously the Royals have seen a lot of, and Scherzer's seen a lot of them throughout the years. I'm not too worried about today's performance offensively, defensively, especially since yesterday the offense looked so good. Especially, hitting the long ball. I know Ryan Lefebvre brought it up on the broadcast today talking about, are they being a little bit too home run reliant? I don't know if I'd go that far. But definitely something to keep an eye on with the team manufacturing runs as frenzy hitting, as some might say, instead of just having the long ball. It was overall a meh performance, but I thought there were some bright spots to come out of the game as well. So we'll talk about that. Let's start things off with what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think Noah Cameron's probably going to, his performance is going to go a bit under the radar or a bit underappreciated in this outing. I know he takes the loss. His ERA gets raised to 2.68. But Noah Cameron was a bulldog. That's what we've called him all season long. He really has been a reliable pitcher with his back up against the wall. He gave them 6 1/3 today. And really, he gave up the third inning. Kind of got away from him. The third inning got away from him. And why was that? Well, you get 2 guys on late in the inning. I believe there were 2 outs in that situation, if I'm not mistaken. But you get 2 guys on, runners on second and third, and it's a deep center field in Toronto, very deep center field in Toronto. So you have Isbell playing back, and you get a blooper into center with the infield in. Isbell's back more than he usually is. And you get a pop-up pretty much more than anything. You get a pop-up that eventually ends up being a double of sorts, a single with an error, maybe you could call it. Officially, it gets scored as it's scored as a single and an error. If that doesn't happen, if, say, Jonathan India goes out and makes the play on it, or if John Rave isn't an idiot, and I'm not calling him an idiot, but doesn't make a stupid play and try and take Kyle Isbell's ball, that we're talking about maybe a 2-2 ball game heading into the 8th inning. I thought that Noah Cameron was really good. Once again, just nibbling at the outside part of the zone. I thought he was about as good as you could have asked him to be, given the circumstances. It's a really good Blue Jays lineup. You give up 3 hits to Bo Bichette, and then the rest of the team really doesn't do too much. I didn't felt like he got barreled really that much today. I'm going to pull up the Savant page because I didn't feel like he got barreled that much today. Felt like he was working counts really well. I felt like the way he was the way he was manufacturing strikes was in a good way. He gives up 7 hard hit balls all game. I thought he was just fine. In terms of what we saw from the Blue Jays today, in terms of, he was heavy cutter today. He was in the zone for most of the day, 50% zone percentage. Didn't get a ton of whiffs, 20% whiff rate, only 10 total whiffs on the day. But like I said, it's a really good Blue Jays lineup. A Blue Jays lineup that's similar to what the Royals did during their heyday, maybe to a greater extent, is they put together really tough ABs. They are able to put the bat on the ball, whether it's a barrel or just having a foul tip to work an AB. The Blue Jays are a really good offense at manufacturing long ABs, making it difficult. And for that reason, I come away really impressed with Noah Cameron today. If not for a bloop single turning into a base error, and then that run eventually scoring a couple batters later, I think we're talking a lot. And I think we're talking about how well Noah Cameron pitched today. The box score doesn't look great, but I thought he pitched really well. I really, really thought he had one of his better performances. He's got a 2.68 ERA. The expected numbers aren't great, but I think we are a pop-up away, a pop-up and a glove away from talking about this being a really, really good outing for one of the better stories for this Royals pitching staff throughout this season. But other than him, Steven Cruz, I'm not sure what the injury was there. A little bit of a bizarre injury situation with him heading out in the seventh inning. Looked fine. You could kind of tell he was not exactly comfortable out there, and he obviously didn't object to being taken out of the game. A little bit concerning given the Royals' lack of depth pitching-wise. I mean, I like them picking up guys. You can always call up Stephen Kolek, and you'll have him on the active if Steven Cruz hits the injured list. But that's a guy that you could rely on in high leverage situations that you probably aren't able to if it's a guy like Stephen Kolek, who has only come out of the rotation this season. So definitely a bit of concern there if he goes down, but he hasn't been pitching as well recently, but reached 100 miles an hour today. I felt like he was pretty solid. And then Taylor Clark came in and really pitched well. I mean, Taylor Clark, you have to remember guys like Taylor Clark and Sam Long, Jonathan Bolin, who got sent down today. Those guys are, pitching for their lives right now. So Taylor Clark pitched really well and might have pitched himself into a bullpen role heading into the latter half of the playoff push. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the offense. Max Scherzer was dominant today. We'll talk about what I saw from the offense and what I predict will happen tomorrow here, coming up next on the Royals POSTCAST. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off of it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about those good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape, ginger, lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. All right, the offense just really lackluster today, top to bottom. Didn't really see much from them against Max Scherzer. They had an opportunity with Bobby Witt Jr. up at the plate for them to really do some damage. Jonathan India got plunked with a pitch after Kyle Isbell reached base with a double. So you're seeing Bobby Witt Jr. with runners on second and third, and then eventually Isbell would move to third after stealing third. So you're seeing an opportunity for Bobby Witt Jr. to do a little bit of damage, and it was a elongated break between Jonathan India getting plunked by the pitch and when Bobby Witt Jr. actually stepped into the batter's box and took two fastballs right down Main Street in a really bad AB. And then I think he goes fishing, if I'm not mistaken. He goes fishing for a really bad curveball from goes reaching for a really bad curveball from from Max Scherzer. Yeah, slider down. Takes 2 fastballs right down Main Street. He fouled one off, but a frustrating AB where he goes, you're starting to see some momentum, and this is in the top of the 3rd inning when things got away from Noah Cameron a half inning later. I know that Coleman in the chat says it really frustrated him. It was not a great AB, especially from a guy that you deemed to be your best hitter, but maybe there was a break in focus that really, kind of screwed with him there, with Jonathan India getting hit by the pitch, and obviously he left the game. Still haven't received any word from Annie Rogers or anybody with the Royals about what happened to Jonathan India, if he's going to be okay. It sounds like they're going to get MRIs, but a guy that continues to get dinged up for the Royals. And honestly, I think that's better for them because it allows Mike Yastrzemski to potentially hit in the leadoff spot. But I was not impressed by the Royals offense today, but you have to take into account Max Scherzer was about as sharp as he's been all season. He was in the zone a ton tonight, today. According to Savant, 56% of his pitches were in the zone. The fastball was spinning. He didn't get very many whiffs, but he got a lot of bad swings from the Royals. He didn't get much hard contact. I thought he pitched really well today. And have to give him credit because he's been dinged up all season. And for him to have that kind of outing where that fastball was spinning, it was playing up, Royals weren't able to hit it very well. The AB that Mike Yastrzemski had in his first AB was, I think, indicative of what we saw from the Royals the rest of the day. Max Scherzer was just a pitch ahead of the Royals, it felt like, all game long. And you're going to get that sometimes with a team that doesn't have a whole lot of, thumpers in the lineup, a lot of guys that you have to pitch around. Max Scherzer was able to pick around at parts of the zones that he could pick at. And he was able to get ahead of the Royals because they really just didn't have much of an approach that played against him. And he was able to get them to not be as aggressive as he would have against a team like the Yankees or the Red Sox that have a ton of really good bats in the lineup. But the Royals, after last night, the Blue Jays pitching staff had really been struggling, had given up 9 or more runs coming into tonight in 5 out of their last 6 outings. The pitching staff had been really bad. For the Royals to get off to the start they did last night, the Blue Jays bounce back today. We'll see a really good pitching matchup tomorrow, I think, with Chris Bassett, the Bassett Hound, against Seth Lugo. And somebody in the chat says, so Luke Maile is going to catch tomorrow. I would hate to see him catch 1 every 3 days. I'm going to miss Freddie's defense, hoping Luca Tresh is called up this year and brings some sick defense. I'd be surprised if that happens, if Luca Tresh gets called up. But yeah, Luke Maile is going to catch tomorrow. And he's actually been really good this season. He's got a great reputation with the pitching staff, great relationship with Brian Sweeney and Matt Quatrero, who was his manager when he was in Tampa Bay for a short period of time. Curtis bringing in the chat from Andy Nelson. Royals say Steven Cruz left today's game with right shoulder discomforts. Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate you for bringing in the breaking news from Annie Rogers. But I like Luke Maile a lot. I think that him having the relationship he does have with the pitchers, the Royals obviously have a lot of confidence in him going into this back half of the campaign, back third of the campaign, enough to trade a Freddie Fermin at the deadline. So I'd be surprised if, barring injury, barring Salvi getting dinged up a little bit, I'd be surprised if we saw Luca Tresh. I think he probably gets added to the 40-man, or at least one other catcher gets added to the 40-man before September 1st, because if you remember correctly, you have to be on the 40-man roster or the injured list before September 1st if you want to be eligible for the playoff roster. So in my opinion, a team should always have 3 catchers on the 40-man, especially heading into September as a postseason potential team. So it would not surprise me if a guy like Luca Tresh was placed on the 40, but I doubt we see him, barring anything dramatic, anything that would, like an injury to Salvador Perez or Luke Maile. But I like Luke Maile. Coleman in the chat asking, do I think Carter Jensen gets called up? I don't. I think that he's going to stay in Omaha for a while. I think Jack Caglione, his struggles kind of allow the Royals to have a reason to be patient with Carter Jensen. And for Carter Jensen, maybe after the Omaha season ends, you see him matriculating around the Royals dugout. But I think that for him, he needs reps, especially it wouldn't surprise me if they potentially try him out at first base or something in Omaha to just get him some reps at a different position to get him more comfortable. But I do not think Carter Jensen gets called up until the very, very end of the season at the latest or at the earliest. But I think Luca Tresh, like DJ said, would be the next Royals catcher to get called up. But tomorrow, I think the Royals are going to put together a much better performance. Chris Bassett, his pitch repertoire lines up a lot better with what the Royals do well against. I think we'll see Mike Yastrzemski in the leadoff spot where he is at his best this season. And I've been really impressed with Adam Frazier. He's had some really good plate appearances. And I think that the offense today, obviously a dud, but we've seen this from the offense in the past, especially this season. They put stinkers together and then they bounce back and have a solid outing. It seems like what we've seen all season from the Royals, where they are just going to take 2 or 3 every series. They're not going to get, especially since June. June was, when I talk about this, I kind of say outside of June. June was a house of horrors for this Royals team. I would expect them to bounce back tomorrow. Seth Lugo has been a guy that has been their stopper this season. Has been a guy that when the back is against the wall, when you need a rubber match win, you go to Seth Lugo, and he's going to give you 6-7 strong innings and have an opportunity to win a ball game. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game. I think the Royals are going to come out with a win in the series. I think it's big for them. I think it's a big series for the Royals to win this, heading into Boston, where there's a lot of unknowns heading into the Red Sox series. Because number one, you don't know now if Jonathan India is going to be available for that series. And 2 and 3, you don't know exactly or at all what you're going to get out of Bailey Falter and Ryan Bergert. So they need a win today to at least put themselves, have enough of a cushion in the Red Sox series, a team that they are chasing in the wild card race. And I'm looking at the wild card race right now. I mean, it's like a pillow fight right now. There are not very many teams that the Royals are really out of distance from, I guess I should say, too far away from. I mean, if you look entering today, the Royals were only 5 games back of the Yankees as the first wild card team. That goes to show you how tight the wild card race is in the American League right now. And you don't know who's going to make it. I think the Royals put themselves in a great position with a great performance last night and a really, really good trade deadline that I loved every move that they made. But I think that the Royals will pick up a win tomorrow, and hopefully they will, because we'll be back tomorrow for another edition of the Royals Postcast. It'll be coming to you live right after tomorrow's game against the Blue Jays. Should be right after. I know I didn't have an episode last night. I had some personal stuff I had to take care of, but appreciate you guys for being loyal and staying with us here today. We will see you guys tomorrow after a hopeful Royals series win against the Blue Jays. This has been the Royals Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network.